Hello, this is the second video on my channel. This is going to be a tutorial on how you should read a book as an entrepreneur. For experience sake, I've read 40 books, all business related, and I'm a very systems driven person. So whatever happens, whatever I do, I always try to refine and tweak my strategies, which is where I've came to a strategy where you can have a book for entrepreneurs, because normal books, every other book that's not business related or entrepreneurial related is about like novels, stories, where you have to visualize, you have to smell the fish, you have to like hear the horses running, whatever it is. We never read those books. Those books waste a lot of your time. I'm gonna teach you how you can understand the book, learn it, and implement it in your business, and get other suggestions from this one book. So like you can get one book, reread it multiple times, and it will be super useful to you. That's what I'm going to teach you. What I'm not going to tell you to do is to pick any random page and you can just choose a chapter, which is what Luke Belmar teaches, and it's absolutely wrong. Because as an entrepreneur, you're naturally going to be really creative about everything else. Because if you see some value here by chance, then your brain is just going to go on a mental rampage. It's going to be like, cool, there's value in this one page, and there's going to be value in all the other pages. So that's what I'm not going to tell you to do. I'm not going to be telling you to just read it cover to cover, and that's it, because that's another way you just forget. What I see with most people, they're like, oh yeah, I've read this book before, and so this is my summary on the book. Like, who does that? What's that guy's name? He's got like a really messed up hairline, and he's made a book called Feel Good Productivity. That guy, that's what he does. He gets a book, and there's no bookmarks on it. He opens a page. Let me open one of the pages I worked on. He opens a page like this. There's only highlights, and that's it. There's no notes. He's not questioning what he doesn't know. He's not arguing with the people who wrote the actual book. He's just like highlighting it for the sake of making a video. So that's what I'm also not going to tell you to do. And the third thing I'm definitely not going to tell you to do, because this one makes me really angry. There's some business owners, when I talk to them, or like future aspiring business owners, like, what books do you read? What's your favorite book? I'm like, oh, well, I don't like reading. I prefer audiobooks, or I prefer listening. Like, bro, are you kidding me? All leaders are readers. All leaders are readers. If you don't read, you're just going to be intellectually not as capable as someone like me. What are you going to do when you come up against me? I'm going to take all your profits. I'm going to take all your customers. It's ridiculous. You have to read. You have to know how to read. It's a art that's not taught in school. And off topic, before I even begin, it's so weird. The two things I never taught in school: how wealth is made, which is the first video I made, and second, how to actually read. Like, nobody tells you how to actually read and self-study. Respectfully, I look at my parents and they don't read, they don't study. Or you look at most adults, they don't study, they watch Netflix. None of them study. None of them progress forward. It's ridiculous. It burns me in my heart. How can somebody not progress forward after school? So after school, you have to learn how to self-study. This is the only way you can be successful. How do you actually read them? What is my strategy? Well, there's a couple of things. Let me just tell you the basics. You read a book 3 times. The first time, you read it cover to cover quickly. And as you're reading it quickly, you're going to be highlighting. I'm going to tell you about the highlights too, which is related to this as well. That's the first read. The second read, you go over it again, and you tackle the highlights you made, and you apply the highlights, which I'm going to explain. The highlights are another key part. And the third and final read, after you've applied everything and you've made your notes, you just go over it one more time just to really make sure everything matches, everything's good, your cheat sheets are there, and it's all valid. And then you finally absorb the book. So the first read, you read through it, no notes taken, you just write in the actual book. You need a pen, 4 highlighters, and book tabs. Highlighters. Yellow. This is for like quotes, or if they just say a banging sentence about business, it's like a bullet point that doesn't really apply to you as a to-do list, but it's really good, you want to save it, you apply it as yellow. Next up, blue. Blue is the color of, if you read something and it's a task and it's an idea that you can implement this week in your business, you highlight the blue and you add a blue tab as well. Same way you add a yellow tab here. Then you have green. This is stuff that's a to-do list, but it doesn't apply right now. Perhaps you're at 50K a month in revenue, and there's a idea that tells you how to go from 100 employees to 250, from 1 million to 2 million, and you know it works because you're a smart, intellectual professional. Well, then you highlight it in green. This is for later. And then the final color is purple. These books, these business books, usually the authors also recommend you even more books to read on top of that. And this is where you highlight in purple. You highlight the book name in purple, you put it in, and you put a purple tab on it. So later on, you can add the book to your summary. So that's the first read, and this is what the colors do. And this is what it's going to look like. You can also put, if there's a really, really good chapter, you can, so sideways, coming out sideways is the actual bookmarks and your notes based on the 3 criteria: your quotes, actionable steps now, actionable steps later, and the book recommendations. And if there's like a really, really good chapter, like this chapter was just banging, you can put it a tab like this, going upwards. Or you can also, this is kind of a bonus one, I rarely do it, but I still sometimes do it if it's a harder topic. You can get black, orange, or whatever random color that you like I've done here, for topics that you need to learn after. So if I'm reading a book on finances and it's telling me like a specific keyword, and that keyword is super important, but I don't know it, then I'll have to go out of my way to learn that at one point. So this is the first read. After the first read, you have your second read. So now, another part happens. So here you have your highlights, which is already taken, but instead of highlights on your second read, you go on your second brain, which is, I have mine on Notion. I take my notes on Notion. You can't take notes on pen and paper. It's too slow. It takes too long. You have to go on Notion. Obsidian doesn't work. None of the note-taking apps work. Notion is the only one that works. I'm a person who only cares about efficiency, focus, and sniper, getting work done efficiently and fast. I have a gaming PC right here, and it's beautiful. I built it, and I love it. However, I have a MacBook as well, and guess what? The MacBook is easier. I can take it to more places. It's way better for business. And I am the type of person who prefers a custom keyboard who makes like cool, funky sounds. But guess what? The MacBook has an okay keyboard and still is better for business. So what I'm going to do? I'm going to stick to the MacBook. I'm going to use the MacBook. So on efficiency, Notion is the best. You have to learn how a second brain works on Notion. This is another video I'm going to do because it's really hard to do self-learning. Nobody teaches you this. Luckily, we have Notion, so which is great. On Notion, on your second brain, you're going to have a topic called business. And under business, you're going to have the main aspects of a business. You have finances, you have marketing, you have sales, body language, and negotiation. And then you have strategy, plan, and you have team, hiring and team, managing, leadership, all that. On your finances, you click it, and this is the book where you can give you all the topics. So as you go through the chapters now, and you're going to reread it for the second time, you've got your second brain ready, you've got the book title ready, and how are you going to take your notes? Well, you're not going to be copying and pasting sentences like this. You're going to be making cheat sheets. So finances, the 3 key elements of finances: your profit and loss, P&L, your balance sheet, and your cash flow statement. These are the 3 main statements of finances in a business, the 3 most important ones. So for each section, you make a cheat sheet along with an example, along with questions you have, along with bullet points, like you write down with the intention of making a cheat sheet. I'm going to have to go on my computer and make a third video on this. So my third video will be on the second brain. But as you're reading through it, let's say, for example, go on this random one. This is the profit and loss or income statement. The first time I learned it. I've got my highlights here, so I'm going to quickly put down what is a profit and loss statement, and then I'm going to, and I'm going to have a table that explains what the profit and loss, the key elements of it, what's included in one. I'm going to include an example, and I'm going to include any other notes where I can actually teach myself. So in the future, when I do forget this book, like I have now, I can go on my notes 15 seconds instead of 15 hours and remember everything quickly. So that's your second read. You go through every single one of these, and after you go through them, you take them off. So you go through it, you peel the tab off, throw it away, and eventually you should be back to clean like another one, like another book. I don't want to waste too much of your time, but this should be back to clean again. And if there should be only the green ones or the ones that you couldn't actually do, because you're going to be rereading these books in the future. Every like couple of years, you're going to have to reread the books that made you have progress, because as you level up, as your chakras lighten up and you become smarter consciously and you level up in the game of life, the books will reveal to themselves more secrets to you. So you need to reread them. Narrow knowledge guy taught me this. I don't like these videos though. He's a bad spiritual guru who got stuff to sell you. I'll never sell anything. Anyways, off topic. So you remove the stuff and you add the notes to your second brain, and here's where you take your notes. Your notes should be cheat sheet focused, not just like a bunch of notes where it's hard to read. You should be focused on exactly something specific, how to do that specific thing with an example, and how you're going to apply it to your business. Okay? That's for the yellow ones mainly, and the concepts. For the blue, I mean, it's a quick blue thing. I would recommend you make a cheat sheet of the blue thing that you learned anyways, just for the sake of having it, and then you can easily apply it to your business as well. The first business I made was really, really good. I had all the things implemented, but I didn't write it down on Notion. So now that business failed, for the one I'm actually going to be focusing on, which is my family's business, I kind of regret not taking the notes there. So you can do that the mistake I didn't. Your blue ones are your actionable steps that you write, and obviously the purple ones you can just write. If you have a book on like the notes that you take, at the bottom it can be like books recommended, and then you can go through there. But that's your second read. So that's the hardest part. The first one is pretty easy. It'll take you like 3 days. The second one will probably take you like 2 weeks. And then the third one, just to confirm everything again, will be super easy again, like 4 days. But that's how you actually read a book. But that's how you read. But you need to know how to take the notes, because the notes is also the special part of it. Oh my days, I spent so many hours watching second brain videos, cephalcasting. Oh, I watched so many like active recall, so many stuff. But that will be for my third video. So the second video, because I feel like I have to do how to read. This is how you read. Quick summary: you get the book, you read the back, read the instructions, read all these introductory pages, which is really important, and then you go cover to cover. As you're going cover to cover, you have your highlighters, quotes, the stuff that you really like, value. Actionable steps now. Apply this to your business now. Apply this to your business later when you reach a certain point or milestone. Books recommended. This is how you read a book as an entrepreneur, manager, or however it is, business related people. You never need to, don't do audiobooks, because with audiobooks you can't write down. And one bonus tip. Bonus time now. Let me see if I'm still recording, because I've got some bonus stuff for you. Yes, I am. Bonus. Ideally, let me get an example for you. Let me get an example. You just gotta wait, because I don't have an editor yet. In the end of every chapter, you do something called a WIL. What I learned. And in the end of every chapter, you summarize everything you learned. It will look something like this, okay? WIL, what I learned, and you summarize it underneath the chapter. Or, sometimes there's no space, and you just do it at, here. You just do it at the beginning of the chapter, where here it is here. You can also do it in the beginning of the chapter. Right here. There's also some space here. What I learned / summary. So you can just put WIL. See, I've got it again here. And this is a bonus one. Actually, yeah, these are all bonuses. The second thing is, usually, if they're not talking rubbish and they're actually talking value, in the sides here, you see these corner sides here? Each paragraph you read, summarize what kind of happened in your own words right here. So literally 1 to 2 sentences is all you need. Option 1. Or option 2, you can have a conversation with the writers. So you can just be like, yeah, I agree. I also did this for my business. Or like, yeah, this is what Alex Hormozy also says. He also thinks this way. Oh yeah, I love this because of that. You can also talk. You can talk or summarize in these margins. The more you do it, the better. But if it's truly just like rubbish and it's like useless, then you can just ignore it. A book I'm currently reading now is the Lean Startup, and here's what it'll look like. So here's the yellow highlight, which is just value, and here I put in the margin what I think of it. So this is either a summary or it's me just talking to the author. You can do the same thing for podcasts too. I need to teach you how to watch podcasts as well. That's another video. Long story short, with podcasts, you have to do it as you're doing an active task. Like if you're cooking or you're cleaning up, you can watch the podcast and you're just talking to the authors. You just also literally, delusionally, you speak to the people on the table on the podcast and you involve yourself. That's for another story. So that's the second bonus. The third bonus is you read a book called Speed Reading by Cam Wright or something. It's called Speed Reading and it's a yellow. And what you don't do when you're reading, you have to learn how to speed read. You don't read out each word, okay? This is what school teaches you. School teaches you to be poor as well. You don't read out each word one by one, like purchasing or holding stock tight. You don't do this. You don't read it out in your head. Here's a few tips what I do. If you see these, you know, the spaces in between words, these spaces, I only focus my eyes on the spaces. And I do it at a speed fast enough where I can't read it out even if I wanted to. And then I don't go from the edges here to the edges here. I go from kind of like the middle, like this, to the little bit to the end. And my subconscious peripheral vision can easily make up what these words are. Because reality is you only need the first and last to actually understand what the word is. So that's another way to like speed read. You read way faster and then you're just scanning for value. You're just scanning for these, okay? And usually for example, a book like this, the guy tells you what the book's going to be about and what he's going to be teaching you straight away from the start. And then he's just going to be bombarding you with stories. Let me see if I can get an example. Like here, he's just bombarding you with stories, okay? I mean, it's kind of useless to me. Actually, here. All of this is useless to me. These stories are all useless to me. So I just read it and I don't do anything. Okay? You read it and I don't do anything. I ignore. Sometimes though, you'll see something really, really valuable. You have to highlight it, tab it and everything. You put a star next to it. You see the star? Put a star next to it because it's really, really valuable to you. That's another bonus. And if it's just rubbish stuff, you can just put you can either ignore it, don't put anything in the margin, or you can put 2 lines. So 2 very small lines, it means this is rubbish, I read it, or it's useless to me. Or what you can also do on your second or third read, as you're reading it and you're going through it, I think I've got it here in the book mastery. Hang on. Okay, I don't, but you see how this looks? You see how this looks? All my notes in the margin. I have my tabs here. I have my actionable steps right now. And what I was going to say is, as you're going through it, and you're going through pages one by one, or each section, you just tick like this, or you can actually tick each. So you can see, you tick like this, and you actually tick each section off like this that you've actually learned. Or if you really want to be a professional, you can put an X if you disagree with what the author's saying. Because what these, not him, Robert Greene, the G. This one possibly. What the author's saying isn't always true. You have to disagree with them. You only agree with them on the value that you need to take away. Why? Because nobody knows how to make money. I promise you, there is people who actually know how to make money, but they won't tell you. I don't know why they won't tell you. Nobody knows how to make money, so whatever they say, usually it's not right. But there's always pieces of really, really good value in these books. Only focus on the value and ignore all the bad. Super simple example was this book, Chakras. About chakras. Chakras are a real thing. But when I was doing trading, the Haram Way, the book is, the video is done by there. You can go. The video is finished. Let me just. Yeah, I've got 3 more minutes. And this video is done. You can go if you want. When I was doing trading, the Haram Way, this is why you should listen. We should not always listen to authors. I noticed right here, my solar plexus chakra was burning, and then I woke up the next day. Here, it was absolutely weird. It had a cramp. It was it hurt. It was burning and it hurt really bad. It's I did a really tough gym session, but it was my rest day that day, so how could it be hurting? So that's when I really started to read about chakras. So this book is really good about chakras. It tells you the basics, the 7 chakras you have, how it feels, how to level up, and why you can't be a miserable lefty and you won't succeed, right? But then you have sections where it's oh, there's crystals or essential oils that you can use, but those don't do anything for you. Crystals don't do anything for you. Let's be real here. Okay, don't make me angry again like the same people who said they're not reading. Okay, crystals are rubbish. They're haram. So I took the chakra aspect, absorbed it, and all of the crystals, essential oils, freaking yoga, bruv. I ignored all that. The simplest example is your survival chakra, your root chakra, which is if it's out of balance, it means you don't have shelter, food, security, financial security, or control over your time. If you don't have any of those, it'll be out of balance. There's no amount of fucking crystals I can put on my neck and arms, and amount of yoga poses and essential oils I can rub over my body that will solve this. The only way to level up from this chakra is to have financial security, control over your time, which will fix it. That's it. Nothing else will fix it. This one is with your sexual and pleasure and energy. Stop drinking coffee to overstimulate this. You're not supposed to put some next tiger crystal over your neck or on your arm. This one, your willpower. Force yourself to do the good thing, right? Force yourself to stop brain rotting yourself on TikTok. You doing yoga poses, essential oils over your chest, and crystals all over your body will not prevent you from doing brain rot on TikTok. Here, love yourself, forgive others. Here, speak, use your throat, speak, make YouTube videos. You don't do crystals. This is for the third eye. Your third eye chakra is strengthened by following the Silva Ultramind system, not meditation. None of that. It has to be specific dynamic meditation, Silva Ultramind. Then you have your third eye, your crown chakra at the very, very top. How do you strengthen this one? Through prayer. You have something called a sujood. You have to put your forehead on the ground and surrender to the higher intelligence to God. That's how you open this one. You have this chart that you have to go up, okay? And fast food or like anything that's negative will just stuck you in these chakras. Like, this is what I observed from the book. But what I didn't observe is meditating your way out of this. I can tell myself money will flow through me, or I will be secure all day, every day, but nothing will change. I spent a long time as well doing this like spiritual rubbish. But yeah, I observed all the good from the book and I ignored all the bad. So for me personally, this is a 10 out of 10 book. But in terms of value in the book, it's a 2 out of 10, right? So you have to know the difference between the righteousness and temptation. You have to discernment skills to only observe the good in the books. You not take everything serious. And that's the final bonus that I have for you. That's how you read it as an entrepreneur. The next video I would make when I have more time, because I do actually need to do my reading now. I am kind of procrastinating. Is your second brain, how a second brain works, how you should take notes on your second brain, and how you pack this, because nobody does this as well. This is the third thing that nobody does. Wealth, how to read, second brain. That's the third topic we're gonna have of stuff that people don't tell you. Perhaps I'm grateful, I'm lucky that I'm intelligent, professional, and smart, that I can give you this value for free in exchange for maybe a subscribe. But I'm lucky that way to have original content. With me, you'll only have original content. I'm never going to tell you to do something. I'm never going to tell you to do something that I wouldn't be doing myself. I wouldn't have experienced it myself. I'm not going to tell you how the ways you can get rich. I'm only going to tell you the one way you can get rich, which is the one way I know. I'm not going to tell you. I will tell you about my failures, but I'm not going to be telling you to do X, Y, and Z because I read about it online on how to do X, Y, and Z. It makes me really angry when authors and people to just make valueless videos. I will be honest though, the videos I'm making is kind of like I'm talking all over the place. It's my second video. I'm talking all over the place. I understand, but I just want to get everything out of my heart, everything out properly. So in the future, I do promise you, when I do get an editor, I'll be concise, exactly what the video is about and what the content should be, and that's it. So it's kind of like a rant / tips and tricks video. But yeah, these are life hacks, tips and tricks, game tips, how to improve in the game of life. And yeah, that's it. Bye. I'm gonna go poo now.